I had just started a new job as a doctor at an integrative medicine clinic. I was excited. Every day my schedule was full, and I consulted with patients with excitement, eager to understand their health concerns and help them. But within just a few months, I began to feel tired, exhausted. No matter how much I rested, I didn't feel strong or vital. 8 months after I started my new job, I had to quit because I was completely burnt out. I went to my doctor. I had labs drawn. And you know what they told me? You're fine. Everything is fine. But I wasn't fine. This was perimenopause, and no one had told me about it. If you don't know what perimenopause is, it's not your fault. No one is talking about it. But today we are going to change that. So what is perimenopause and why don't we know about it? Here's what I didn't know back then and what most women still don't know. Perimenopause can start in your early 40s or late 30s, sometimes even earlier. And it's not just about missing your periods. It's a full body experience. So what perimenopause is the hormonal transition leading up to menopause. And it can last anywhere from 2 to 4 to 12 years. This is when estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone fluctuate unpredictably, impacting your brain, metabolism, mood, heart, and bones. Menopause, on the other hand, is the stage when our bodies stop producing estrogen and progesterone, a complete stop. So a woman is said to be in menopause when she goes 12 consecutive months without a period. And even though it affects every single woman, perimenopause and menopause, we are not taught to recognize perimenopause as it begins, not even most doctors. So what are the top 10 symptoms of perimenopause that you should be aware of? Number 1, brain fog and memory issues. You forget words mid-sentence. You walk into a room and you forget why. You start to doubt your own mind and your sharpness. Second, anxiety and mood swings. One moment you're totally fine. The next, you feel like the world is caving in. You are overwhelmed by things that never bothered you before. Third, sleep problems and waking up at 3 a.m. You're exhausted all day, but wide awake at night. Melatonin and cortisol are out of sync, and no amount of sleep fixes the fatigue. Fourth, weight gain, especially around the midsection. Suddenly, what worked before doesn't work anymore. Your body is storing fat differently, thanks to shifting hormones, increased cortisol, and metabolic changes. Migraines and headaches. You never had migraines before, let's say, but now they're showing up around your cycle or for no reason at all. Heart palpitations and a racing heart. Suddenly you feel like your heart is pounding for no reason. Your doctor tells you it's probably just stress. Seventh, joint pain and muscle stiffness. Your body suddenly feels like it's aging overnight. You wake up stiff, your knees hurt, and movement feels different. Eighth, digestive issues and food sensitivities. Foods you used to tolerate now make you bloated, gassy, or inflamed. Your gut bacteria and digestion are shifting due to hormone fluctuations. Ninth, hair thinning and skin changes. Your hair is shedding, your skin feels drier, and you're noticing more wrinkles and loss of elasticity. And number 10, last but not least on this list, low libido and vaginal dryness. Your sex drive takes a hit. Intimacy starts to feel uncomfortable, something no one warned you about. If these symptoms sound familiar, but you never connected them to perimenopause, it's because no one told you. And if you don't have many or even a few of these symptoms, consider yourself very lucky because you're in the minority. So why does this matter? Why does knowing about perimenopause matter? It matters because perimenopause is a window into your future health. Why should women care? They should care because perimenopause is about more than just symptoms. It's about your long-term health. If the fluctuations or the decline in hormones that happens in perimenopause and menopause is not adequately addressed, your risk for Alzheimer's dementia, osteoporosis, heart disease, and metabolic disease skyrockets. This is when prevention matters most. But we've been taught to just treat symptoms instead of optimizing our whole health. This hurts us because we try to shut the alarm instead of fixing that which is wrong at the core. You know, your skin and weight are just the surface of the problem, right? We see those. And while we should absolutely care for our external appearance, our brains, our bones, and longevity depend on what we actually do with great thought and care during this phase. And that takes knowledge and action. And here's the next thing. If the symptoms of perimenopause and menopause take such a big toll on women, why don't we talk about it? We don't talk about it because these topics have long been taboo and private. Women have been conditioned to stay silent and suffer in isolation. We've been told that menopause is a part of our life and we just have to deal with hot flashes, night sweats, and a million other problems. This is not only incorrect but unacceptable. We have to speak up because if we don't, we have no chance of getting the help we need. The most effective way to help many women with most of these symptoms is through hormone therapy. But the reason it is not used as often as it could be to help women is that hormone therapy has a reputation problem. So what is this reputation problem with hormones, you ask? Why is hormone replacement therapy, or HRT, so misunderstood? Why is the one thing that can help women in perimenopause and menopause become such a difficult thing to talk about? Here's why. Welcome to the WHI study, the Women's Health Initiative study that was published in 2002. Let's talk about how a single mistake, a single big mistake, set women's health back by decades. So this one study, the infamous $1 billion Women's Health Initiative study of 2002, the problem was in how the results were misinterpreted, misreported, and weaponized against women's health. More about all of this in a future episode, but here is the impact, or rather the fallout of the misinformation and unnecessary controversy which refuses to go away. Here's what happened as a result of this misreporting. Doctors stopped prescribing hormone replacement after the study came out in 2002. Medical schools stopped teaching about menopause. A whole generation of doctors has not been taught how to care for women in midlife. As a result, millions of women are left suffering through perimenopause and menopause with no guidance, no treatment, and no alternatives other than antidepressants, anti-pain medications, sleeping pills, or being told this is just aging. So we don't talk about it because it's taboo, and we don't help women because the one thing that is the most effective in helping women, there is a reputation problem with it. So what can you do? What can you do today to feel better? Because staying silent and suffering is not the answer. So if you're in your late 30s or early 40s and have any of the symptoms I listed, it's important to consult with a doctor and tell them your symptoms and that you need help. And let's talk about some things that you can do today at home by yourself. These are simple solutions and you don't need a doctor's consultation for those. These are just things like how you can use diet and lifestyle to boost up your natural production of estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone. To balance your estrogen, you can add to your diet flax seeds, cruciferous vegetables like broccoli, cauliflower, and Brussels sprouts, supplements like red clover, and calcium D-glucarate. For progesterone support, you might add things like vitamin C, magnesium, Vitex, or foods rich in vitamin B6. And eventually, you might want to consider hormone replacement therapy. I work with many women who are undergoing perimenopause and experiencing many of the symptoms I listed. For some women, using food, herbal, and nutritional supplements is enough. But for others, it is not. These women can get help with hormone replacement therapy. In my own case, I tried the herbal supplements, but they didn't help me. I got the relief I needed when I started hormone therapy. It gives me comfort to know that not only can I live with ease, but I'm taking action every day to prevent heart disease, dementia, and osteoporosis. More about hormone therapy in another episode. But for now, if this episode spoke to you, if you feel like you've been left in the dark about your own health, subscribe. My mission is to make sure women never feel lost or dismissed again. So, drop a comment below. What are the symptoms you're experiencing? Have you had somebody talk to you about their experience of perimenopause or menopause? Have you spoken to a doctor? Have you felt like you are getting the help you need? Or have you felt dismissed? Have you struggled to get answers? Let's change the situation together. Thank you.